listening to us from the Netherlands?
I mean, there are people who my kids are related to who live in the net. My kids are Dutch.
Yeah, but does that mean it's them?
I believe
somebody from the United Kingdom.
I believe someone in Anya's family listens to the show, and I don't know who. It could be Sylvia. Sylvia might be listening. I don't know.
Our biggest listeners are from San Francisco.
That's why that's bullshit. There's no one listening from San Francisco.
I think they might be hidden.
It's been in there forever.
Hidden pockets.
Feel free to speak in the microphone because I'm recording.
Oh, we're on?
People of Earth, how are you?
You got to do your People of Earth thing.
Today, we turned 70. Kind of. This is show 70. It doesn't mean it's just a number. It's fucking really just a number because we've done more than 70 broadcasts or whatever, podcasts. And if you go, you know what's great? I
was hoping we were going to hit 100.
I like to go to once in a while, I go to all the different places where we're on. You know, because the RSS. And see if they're there. If you go on iTunes, it's a long list, man. There's a lot. Everything we've ever posted is on there, and it's this long. It's pretty good. Pretty cool.
We need more.
Well, we're gonna keep doing shows.
We are.
So this is show 70. Joe and I were talking a little bit about show 69, and I like to do this once in a while, and I think that this was a show where it's worth it. I'm just going to briefly go over what we talked about on show 69. Also, because my write-up wasn't on there, Joe's was. So if you listen, you know what I'm talking about.
You had said something about the show was on that computer, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the thing to scroll because I was trying to cut and paste your write-up.
Oh, so you did it on the backup and then brought it to your... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I then copied show 69 off of that computer. I took the Audacity file.
Right.
Brought it into the Cabana computer.
Right.
Put that on, and that didn't have the intro and the outro.
It's fucking weird, man. I thought
or
I put
any
it
of
on
your.
there.
I couldn't get any of the shit that you wrote.
That's weird.
And I didn't delete it, and for some reason it's still uploaded from that computer. I don't know whether the internet was down or something, and it uploaded without any of your shit.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Now you were shit-faced when I came down here.
Yeah, I think I somehow. I know that the beginning didn't make it on, and I didn't care, but I thought the outro was on there.
Now, well, you know something?
It doesn't matter.
There was no intro. No, there was no intro.
The only
or
difference
outro.
between me doing the music and you doing the music is you just cut and paste it, which is fine. That works. But I blend it in. I make another track and I blend it over each other and in and out. You know what I mean? And you can't be bothered.
No, well, look, you're a professional as far
I'm
as
really not a professional. I've just done it more. I've edited fucking, multi-tracks for 30 years, It's kind of a hobby.
If you care of how we blend our kicker music
I
into the
think
show,
Joe, look at me.
Fuck off.
I think it's pretty important. I think the show sounds good.
Well, no, of course
it sounds better than any other two, as good as any other two clowns doing what we're doing. I just want it to sound good.
Hey, you know how Joe Rogan starts his show? The guy that has more listeners than anybody?
Oh, I know.
He goes 1, 2, 3, and we're on.
Yeah. I like that.
I like the People of Earth thing. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, I'm never getting rid of that.
He has no music.
Yeah, no, I got to have a little music. And that's not because I know anything about podcasts or talk shows, but if I'm going to be involved with anything going on with recording, there's going to be some fucking music involved. That's just me.
Well, and there's going to be some fade in, fade outs.
Because I know how to do it.
Right. I don't.
It's not that hard, by the way.
It's probably not.
It's pretty basic
You have
shit.
to be.
There are people who go to, like my fucking daughter. I'm sorry, not my fucking daughters. My daughter's fucking boyfriend, Brady, he's getting a 4-year degree in sound engineering, which is awesome. I mean, he'll get a job and everything. Yeah, that's what he does. So we get to actually talk about stuff. They're going back to school Saturday. I'm bummed. Had some nice visits with them. They came most Sundays this summer for dinner.
Well,
in Kingston, and we had a ball. I mean, So
I hope she doesn't marry him and live in Maine.
No. He's going wherever she gets a job. That's how that's
Hopefully she'll
set
come
up.
to Boston.
I
Or go to California.
You know, I want her to go to New York or Chicago or California or something. That's what I want for her.
No, fuck Chicago.
You know
New
what I'm
York,
saying?
Boston, New York,
Fuck Boston.
or...
She needs to get out of here for a while.
You know what Boston has become?
And I'll miss her, but I think professionally and because she's going to be a superstar, and I want her to get the fuck out of New England for a while.
Well, that's fine, but that's up to her, I guess.
I've
Whatever
never
she
said.
wants to
I
do.
didn't tell her that, so yeah, of course it's up to her.
Now, I had my buddy,
Although she did listen to me about business school, I will say that.
I had my buddy Ira in town, and we went out to dinner with my kid, his nephew, and we were talking a little bit about high tech. And my daughter is starting her 6th high tech job at a new company where she's getting some stock, which I keep telling her. Get into the startups that look like they're on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round of funding, meaning they're gonna last, but you still get stock.
Yeah.
So at any rate, she says there's a lot of. It's not outpacing Silicon Valley, but it's Boston area is the next biggest place for startups and high tech.
I believe it. It's every other thing that I've done for the past 10 years in my professional career, both as a self-employed painting contractor and an estimator, has directly to do with startups.
I think
high-tech startups.
I mean, you got Harvard, you've got MIT, you've got Tufts, you've got...
And then half of that half is medical related. Everything's healthcare related and fucking tech.
Right.
Healthcare tech startups here in Boston. It's
but there's all
out
kinds
of its mind.
All kinds of stuff going on.
You know what's the other thing I'm seeing a lot, Joe? More than and everyone is saying the same thing. It's not just because I haven't been doing the commercial thing that long. Fucking the self-storage units that are the ground up. The multi-story storage units. You know,
I've
in like
seen
the
them.
city and everything. You know what I mean? They got a ton of them in Florida and all that. But
I had thought about
seeing
that as a
tons of
business
those.
idea, but it just sounds so fucking boring. Once again, I'd
there's a couple big companies that
I'd
do
get
it
it.
nationwide.
get them up, and then I'd kill myself if I had to run them. I gotta get into unit.
It's not a mom.
29.7.
It's not a mom and pop business anymore. It was for a while. It's just not. It's fucking big. It's the fucking storage industry equivalent of the big box store.
I'm not storing anything. I'm gonna have a fire, I believe.
I mean, I'll go in on a dumpster with you. I get so much shit I need to just throw out. Fuck the yard sailing. Yard sailing's fun and everything, but I don't even have time.
One of the good things about getting divorced is that
I vomited.
I had my house, my last house was packed with shit, just like this one is.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, and she took all of it?
Well, she sold most of it. So,
At least it was sellable.
yeah. I walked out with a stereo and clothes and 2 motorcycles.
Yeah, I was going to say, you definitely, and you might have brought a fucking ratchet set or something with you, but maybe not. I don't know.
For the most part, and after like 3 weeks, I couldn't tell you what I took out of that house.
Yeah.
I mean, what was in there there was nothing that I coveted. You know what I mean? I could care less.
Joe, I
And
left.
it was such a...
I left with my clothes and my stereo.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I did.
That's
you know,
about it.
And then if I had some tools there, I went back and got them. But that's it. I didn't-
Furniture, TV.
Oh, and I got the little Bose fucking unit that I bought
Didn't
20
care.
years earlier. Yeah.
Didn't care.
Yeah, me neither.
I think
Which
I
is
might have...
weird.
I might have got out of there with the computer.
I
did because I moved my office.
I just didn't. And that's fine. Computers are cheap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can get a pretty decent laptop for $149 from the guy who fucking redoes the fucking business Dell line, not the I forget if that's the Inspiron or the other. I think the Inspiron is the work one, right? I don't know. You get a pretty fat computer with Windows 10 in it for less than $150 right now, which is amazeballs if you ask me. So show 69 with the aforementioned great Gabby. Gabby, thank you. That was a great night, not only for Kinda Right, but for my spirit. Thank you for lifting my spirit. You are an amazing young lady. So for a little while, Joe was there, and before he left, we talked about dogs. We talked about the Massachusetts State Police. Dogs. We weren't talking about dogs. We were talking about the whole Donald called people dogs, and then we were calling other people dogs. And
Yes. Omarosa.
I called Peter Strzok a dog. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Interestingly enough, we talked about Paul Manafort, and I was going to bring him up today. Manafort and Cohen, both fucking. Well, Cohen pleaded guilty to fucking, tax evasion and fraud.
Did the jury come back?
Oh yeah, he got found guilty on at least 10. What was he up on? 18 or 19 counts?
I don't know.
I think he got found guilty on 8 counts of stuff. And some of it is, you probably didn't want to go ahead and do that, Paul, if you didn't want to go to jail.
He would have never got caught.
He filed false tax returns, which, who among us? But
he would have never gotten caught.
No, he wouldn't have.
Because none of these charges had anything to do with Russian collusion.
It's not fucking double jeopardy, but what is it? It's fucking like when the female cop goes out and pretends to be a hooker. What's that called?
Entrapment.
Entrapment. It's entrapment. Nah, it's not entrapment. Sorry. I don't know what it is. It's bullshit. It's what it is.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of wrong.
I mean, you know what? You probably shouldn't be hiding a foreign bank account. But really, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Why is that?
If it's his money, why not? I don't know.
But he got 1 count of that, and then 8 counts or whatever.
So did they say what kind of jail time this would turn into?
I didn't hear any of that. I didn't want to get depressed. You know what I mean? Because if this guy's going to jail for the rest of his life, that's pretty depressing. And then Cohen pleaded guilty in a fucking quivering voice to all his shit. He didn't even go to trial.
Now, is he guilty of similar crimes?
Similar, yeah. That type of fucking, I didn't hear the word tax evasion at all. I heard filing false tax returns and then bank fraud and wire fraud. I mean, again.
8 guilty pleas from Michael Cohen.
I can think of a couple houses I built where, it's possible there was some bank fraud and wire fraud going on. You know what I mean?
No, that didn't happen.
And I learned from the very best, and I'm not going to say who that was. But
well, listen, Paul Manafort, on 8 counts, judge will declare mistrial in 10.
We talked a little bit about laundry.
Oh, mistrial declared on 10 other counts. I guess they couldn't come to. Here we go. Counts of tax and bank fraud. That's what they got him for. Tax and bank fraud.
Not wire fraud. Okay.
And that's it. No fucking Russians.
I got to say.
Nothing. So.
There's nothing.
I'm
telling you right now that tax fraud and wire fraud is way more exhilarating and fucking adrenaline pumping than even playing poker. The thrill of pulling off wire fraud is amazing. It's akin to what do you call it? Euphoria. It's euphoric.
Rob Mueller might be listening to you right now.
I got news for you, Joe. No one's listening to me right now. You are. Only you. right now can hear me.
Well, for when we put the show up.
Yeah, and then my brother will hear it, and nobody else.
Well, at least maybe a half a dozen.
By the way, I'm hoping he comes up for the big wedding.
And when this thing takes off, people are going to go back and listen to
the
golden oldies, Al.
No. Somehow it'll be mysteriously wiped. But the I begged Dave. I wasn't gonna, but I'm begging him to come up for that wedding party that my wife didn't put our names on the invitation or the time.
Really?
Good job, baby. No wonder you're not getting
any. What time do you show up?
Did you find the little yellow card in there?
I didn't even look.
All right. It doesn't matter. You guys are coming, right? It's going to be a good party. It's going to be food and
It's
bar.
Like September 29th, right?
Yeah, it's a month away. I'll remind you.
From 5 to 10.
Yeah, you don't have to be there the whole time.
So,
as a matter of fact, come late when the music starts. That'll be fun.
What the fuck was I just going to say?
I'm going to say the next day is Sunday the 30th.
Oh, we had 188 listens.
To show 69?
To
the whole, everything?
Various shows in 7 days. That's not too shabby. Now, like you said, that could be someone going back.
Well, it definitely is.
To listen 3 or 4 times.
Although I will say Dave listened to, when he saw that the show with Gabby was 2 hours and 40 minutes long, he saved it for a 2 hour and 40-minute ride. He listened to it in one shot. And he usually listens over, 3 or 4 times.
I don't think anybody downloads it, right?
No, and I think I enabled that one to download because even you forgot after we talked about it. I went in there. I'm pretty sure I clicked off downloadable. Listen, nobody downloads podcasts.
Nobody downloads ours.
Nobody downloads any.
That's for
Do
sure.
you download? You listen. You're a podcast guy. Do you download podcasts? No, you just fucking go to wherever they are and listen to them.
No, I don't.
And nobody does, because everybody does it the way you do it on their computer. No, fucking nobody listens to podcasts on their phone. All right.
Well, they listen to them on their phone in the car.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Plug it into the computer. Plug it into the stereo.
Actually, I listen to fucking
or
Stern
Bluetooth.
Just right over the fucking phone, and it's loud enough.
I think Bluetooth is the way people do.
Brown tooth, I call it. Yeah, Bluetooth it rules, but I'm like, all right.
So
First of all, there's got to be some fucking cancer causing fucking something going on with Bluetooth. All right, Bluetooth is a miracle.
I'm talking about like to connect your phone to the.
I know.
To
a speaker or whatever.
To the radio in your car.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about that stupid thing that people.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
On their head.
I'm talking about even like they make them fat little JBL tube speakers that are Bluetooth. I'm surprised you don't have 3 or 4 of them. They're fucking awesome. Joe, something this big, literally fills the room. Like the first time you heard a Bose, you know what I mean? But maybe even better. And it's Bluetooth, and to me, it's a miracle. Is that because I'm old? I don't know. I think it's a miracle. Fucking, it goes from one device to the other, fucking wirelessly. That's science fiction, Joe.
It usually almost always connects.
If you have a good phone and you spent some coin on whatever it is, it should connect very well. So shortly after all that, we talked. You had a bellyache or something, and you left. And then me and Gabby talked about Ivan and Gabby. And have you met Ivan?
I had stomach grumbling. I have. Ivan's a nice guy.
Yeah, I bet he is. He would have to be. We talked about package store Nazis. I don't even remember what that was about. It's a funny fucking phrase, though. Package store Nazis. We talked about beating your TV to death. That's pretty funny. Then we talked about tattoos. We talked about being thumbless, which I was for a while.
I don't think you can beat a TV to death, can you?
Well, we'll just talk about destroying your TV for whatever reason.
Beating
you get
on
angry.
it because
you're angry.
The old rabbit ear days.
TVs are delicate now, by the way. You can break one of them just looking at it,
I haven't had to beat on any of.
Then we talked about basic training. Then we talked about the Pondo. You know what the Pondo is?
Yeah.
Pondo is in Acushnet. It's on 105, right by the Rochester line.
Yeah.
And it's a classic fucking country dive bar. Every Friday night they do fish fry.
Oh,
You
shit.
can get a pizza there. You can get a choice of probably 8 or 9 fucking bottled beers. I'm pretty sure none of them are imported. And yeah, you can get a Jack and Coke and a vodka and tonic, but they're not they're not making you a fucking hurricane. You know what I mean?
It's kind of
And
like it's like a Legion.
And you walk in,
Without
and
being a
it
Legion.
looks like you're walking into somebody's red country farmhouse, fucking gable front,
Yeah.
and it's open. There's 6 tables or so. There's a side room where they do functions, little kitchen, little bar, and then you can go outside and play horseshoes or cornhole or whatever the fuck they play. Anyway, she'd never heard of it, and she's from Acushnet. I'm like, the place rules. It's like if I lived in Rochester or Acushnet, I would be there every day, every
she's
fucking
23.
day.
She's only been drinking for 2 years. We're legal to drink.
But even you haven't heard about it, and it's been there for a while.
Well, whoever goes to Rochester.
Well, it's Acushnet. It's a towny bar. That's what I'm saying. That's what's lovely about it. It's a towny bar, good
I don't
old
think
fashioned
anybody-
country towny
I
bar.
think there's 17 people that live in Rochester. Isn't there?
Rochester does not have a lot of people and they have 2 full-time cops. I'm talking about Acushnet though. It's in Acushnet, but it's on the Rochester line.
Well, that's close enough to be in the boonies.
Hey, my wife is from Rochester, and of course she never wants to go back there. I would move if I could.
It's pretty.
Figure out a way to move to Rochester. I would do it in a heartbeat. You can't even hear a highway out there.
No, it's
There's no highway.
It's
The sticks.
it's quiet.
But it is 15 minutes back roads to New Bedford from there. You know what I mean? But once you get, you get up on the Acushnet side of New Bedford and then over that way, it gets country pretty quick over there. It goes city, straight up subdevelopment, straight up agricultural. You know what I mean? That's the fucking, and like that. So it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of Europe in that way.
Well,
Europe's kind of like that.
and you don't have to go to Europe.
Fuck Europe, by the way. I did it a bunch of times. I'm never going back to Europe. I may never leave the United States, Joe, ever again. There's
Doesn't
a
make you a
distinct
bad
possibility.
person.
There's a distinct. I don't even want to go to Canada, and we know Canada's cool.
Why would you though?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Mexico. I talked about wanting to go back to like Aruba or something. I don't. If I could stay in the United States and get that like U.S. Virgin Islands, that's the United States. But I may not leave the continental United States.
I've been.
I might go to the Keys, but even there, it's like, why do you want to die in a hurricane? Fuck that.
I been to Canada. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
It's lovely.
You've even seen Western Canada a little bit, I believe. Yeah, yeah.
I've seen Western. I think I was in Banff. BAANF.
Yeah. What the fuck's that? Alberta or is that No, that's.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I would look it up.
I
but
believe it's above Idaho or Montana,
I think that's Alberta territory over there,
and that's their
or Saskatchewan.
That's their Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, literally, that's the same range of mountains
Yeah.
that's in fucking Denver,
But it's pretty cool.
or that Denver is in. That's an interesting place, I guess. I know you've been all over the place. Have you ever been in Denver proper?
Yes.
It's a big city, a mile
I
high
haven't spent any time.
in the air.
I spent a couple days in Colorado Springs, which I like much better than Denver.
Yeah.
Denver's, I don't know. Denver's just this. It's right at the edge of the mountains,
Yeah.
and it's a city. You know, old Jim Kelleher, the old Jim Kelleher said, who was from Ireland. He goes, he's traveled everywhere. He says, cities are basically just cities are the same. Cities are a city.
I think when I think of cities, like I always talk in the terms of the great American mid-sized city, the Louisvilles, the Nashvilles, the Milwaukees. You know what I mean? And those 3 cities are the same. They really are. Listen, there's no. The only place there's places like Manhattan in this world is China. You know what I mean? And maybe Tokyo. There's no other Manhattan in America. You know what I mean? That's a fucking different situation. But when you're just talking about, your average city, I agree with you.
Well, yeah.
Because even like Chicago, it's just a big shithole. It's nothing like New York
Manhattan's
City.
kind of a shithole too, though. I mean, New York is kind of
I'm talking about the part of Manhattan where fucking 6 million people work and 100,000 live. That's what I'm talking about. That to me is amazing. Just a mass of people that fucking work in that small. You know what I mean?
It's
just
Manhattan.
That's what I'm saying. There's not many places like that here. But in China, there's fucking a dozen of them. There's 20 of them. You know what I mean? Literally.
Well, some of them, I think there's some that are 30 million people.
Yeah, but they're just bigger than fucking
Well, they got
New
a
York
lot
City.
of people over there in China.
They have a veritable shitload. They have like 3 times, actually more than 3 times as many, maybe almost 4 times as many people that we have.
I was listening to...
That means there would be 8 dudes doing this podcast right now.
There'd be 8 dudes living in this room.
Yeah, well, fuck.
With one bed, sharing the bed. You can only sleep every 8th night.
And then also sharing the toilet down the hall with the other 6 rooms with 8 people in it.
Yeah,
Nobody's got their own toilet, believe me.
And
it might be a hole in the fucking tile floor.
I don't know how I got on this, but I was listening to...
I know how you can get on this.
I
Sorry, man.
was listening to a podcast this afternoon.
Which one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I was listening to Bill Burr on Conan, and then Bill Burr on with W. Kamau Bell. You know who that is?
Yes, we talked about him. We talked about him
Kamau Bell
ad nauseum.
Is the guy,
a racist. He's a racist.
He's the guy that has a show on Sundays on CNN, which is done on in the summertime, called United Shades of America.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
I like the show.
It's excellent, and he's a racist.
And then I jumped to somebody he was interviewing. And this guy is not a white supremacist. He's a proud white person, okay? But he's off. You know what I mean? Meaning he doesn't want anything to do with the black people.
Yeah, he's out of his mind.
He wasn't out of his mind. But there was some... Then I listened to and that led me to, and I got to find the fucking guy's name. I listened to a 45-minute interview in which this guy was extremely eloquent, not a racist, but basically said, and I have to think about whether I believe this or not, but he basically said, look, white people are taught, you don't hear anybody talking about white pride unless they're some sort of a fucking Nazi. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't hear...
By definition.
You don't hear that. And quite frankly, as white people are sort of brought up to believe that they're, not really... It's not right to talk about being white. You know what I mean? Because if you talk about being white, then that makes you, you're onto some white supremacist thing. And he said, the problem is, white people are the majority race, if you will, in the country, right? Why would you want, as a white person, to become the minority? And I have to suss this out, because you know, this girl was doing, this was an African American woman she was very bright as well. Mm-hmm. Follow what I'm saying?
Sure, of course.
But she was doing everything she can to, you know, she said, so you're a white supremacist. No, I'm not a white supremacist. Not at all. I'm proud of my European heritage, and white people built this country, and I would like it to remain white. And he went as far as to say, because this is why I want to read some of the shit that he said. Not that I'm going to go on like some sort of a...
What's his job title again?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know if this is his job.
Well, I don't think it is.
She was having a conversation with this guy,
yeah.
and he said, look, I would like the United States to remain a majority white country because, you know, even though...
Pretty much worked out.
Even though you know, white people are seen as the devil and the root of all evil, and, you know, of course, white people, you know, had the slaves over here. But it's...
A lot of black people had slaves, too, by the way.
A lot of black people still have slaves in other countries.
Yeah, yeah.
But he said some things that really... Well, one, he said, name a country that's majority black that's a really good country you want to go and live at.
Right.
To the woman. And then he also talked about people,
South Africa,
people
maybe.
like to be with their own kind. Now, I wouldn't care if a black family came and moved into my neighborhood. There was a black family in here.
Doesn't seem like they moved to China, by the way.
But if I was the only white, I'm not sure how to answer this. If I was the only white person on the street, would I stay? And the answer is I don't know. I guess it would depend if I was being, you know, ostracized for being the only white person on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people do like to be with their own kind.
Yeah, but... Yeah, that
and
makes
I mean,
perfect common sense.
Black people tend to be with other black people. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have black friends and you can't, you know, socialize and you can't.
And I see a lot of
they get married. Look, you can do whatever you want.
I see a lot of fat white bitches hanging out with black men.
There is, but what this guy was saying is, there isn't anything wrong with wanting to stay and hang around with white people, if that's what you want to do. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person as much as you want to hang out with, if you're black and you want to hang out with black people, or if you're Mexican and you want to hang out with other Mexican people, or if you're Asian, you know, Chinese and you want to hang around with other Chinese people or Japanese or whatever. People of the same culture and language tend to want to, you know, stay with one another because they've got some commonalities. And we just happen to be the majority, and the people that, and when I say we, I certainly didn't build the country, but white people founded and built the United States.
Right. 1900s, you know what I mean?
Right.
Same with yours.
But
you're Irish.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Meaning,
I got you.
What I'm saying to you is, I wasn't cringing, but I think I harbor, and it's probably because of this, so much of this, I harbor a little bit of white guilt, you know, and that's what this is what this guy's saying, is that we're kind of taught in a society to, if you're white, just shut up. You know what I mean? Because you don't have any right to piss and moan. And he said, if that's going to be the way things are, you're going to see not only a two-term Donald Trump, but you're going to see another Donald Trump. And I think that's true, because I think there's a lot of white people that are fucking fed up with hearing how awful they are and with their white privilege and shit. You know, if you tell somebody they're privileged and they're living in a fucking trailer with a hole
In West
roof
Virginia.
and their kids haven't eaten, and you're basically going to get somebody pissed off.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be on your side. So if you're there to piss somebody off, that's working out good.
I got to say,
So it was interesting to listen to, and I'm not sure where I come down, you know, but it's something that I'll think about, and I'll find out whether this guy's a fucking, you know,
Jamoke.
well, whether he's the fucking Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux
Yeah,
Klan,
right.
just trying to sound reasonable,
Which some of them do.
you know.
David Duke. You know what I
know,
mean? He gave that a
here's
fucking
the guy
go.
sounding reasonable. And
Did David Duke
meanwhile,
actually
he's
get
burning.
elected to the U.S. House of Representatives? I don't think so. He was
think
he had a state something in Louis.
Yeah, I think he was on the state. Like,
And he ran for president and all that shit.
yeah, he was the Grand Dragon of the KKK. You know, but you gotta. I think the thing is what this guy was saying is that, you know, this idea that if you say something like, you know, I like being with white people, means you're a racist, then
Well, that's what they say. Yeah,
that's
that's
what they
racist.
say.
Yeah, that makes you a racist.
I like
Joe.
being with other white people.
You're a
Oh, you're a
racist.
racist.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you are a racist.
The plain fact,
And
they-
it's not.
Listen, they've taught this at
Look.
UMass since I was there, and they're still teaching it in
You know,
all
they
the major
didn't teach
universities.
it when I was there. So you must.
You know
have
what
got-
I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The fact that you are a white man makes you a racist, and it makes you a sexist. That's it. That's
Yes.
what they teach. That's what they
Yes,
teach.
Very true.
And that's how they train all the RAs and all
or
the
at
people
least
who work.
they certainly.
You are
When I
white,
say, and
man.
when I say
Yeah.
they, I'm not talking about black people.
No.
I'm talking about mostly white
Yeah,
people.
yeah, totally. Ooh.
Because mostly white people run the universities.
Right.
And I think it's a lot of white people with a lot of
White guilt. Yes, white
that
guilt.
that are running around. You know, these fucking assholes that are running around out in California burning because someone's coming to speak, some fucking animal or someone they disagree with. Usually they're people of privilege, and they come from, you know, well-to-do families, and, you know, they're just
Joe,
riddled with white guilt.
when I was told that by an RA, and it was reconfirmed by all the women on my floor, that's when my politics changed. So when you talk about the unprivileged person who's like sick of it, I was not a child of privilege, but I didn't want for much. My folks even fucking paid for my college. As soon as somebody told me that because I'm a white man, that I'm a racist and a sexist, my politics changed immediately. My whole outlook on life changed. That's why I am the way I am, because somebody said that to me.
Nobody's ever
changed
said that to me.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
changed.
heard it enough. You know, and I think back to like election nights, and you had that Van Jones on there calling it a white lash, you know, and that's perfectly acceptable. But if you, and I'm not going to get into, because there is something about being the majority. It's tougher being a minority
No doubt.
and not in the majority.
And we've said it 20 times on Kinda Right. Black people in America got a gripe. They got a gripe.
They got a legitimate gripe.
They got a fucking gripe.
However, if you're going to walk around and tell every white person that they're privileged, you are going to end up with people strongly disliking you, and you're going to end up losing a lot of elections.
And no matter what you say or do, you're never going to make up for it, because they stopped listening to whatever bullshit is streaming out of your mouth immediately after you said that.
Because you're obviously a racist.
And I believe that there's a lot of people like me who are of above average intelligence. I'm no genius. I'm of above Would you agree my IQ is probably higher than 98 or 100 or whatever the fucking average is?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, of course.
I think there's a lot of guys like me out there of my intelligence.
No. There's shitloads of guys.
That's what I'm saying. But I just wanted to finish.
There's a whole bunch of them
who voted for Donald Trump because of that. And I agree with you. I think your analysis is spot on. Your analysis
Well, they're
is spot
tired
on.
of hearing how lucky they are to be white coming out of one of the worst recessions we've ever had and feeling a lot of pain.
I will say, though, America's not a bad place to just be able to, you know what my finances have been. My finances are not month to month, a week, or day to day, the minute to minute. And you can do it in America. You can do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. We're lucky to live where we live. And
yeah.
We really
well,
are.
Well, it's a good country.
And I don't think that's a black or white thing, by the way, at all.
Well,
you can scrimp by if you're black or white or Asian or
there are certainly plenty of racial problems.
Yeah, like I said.
I'm beginning to think that a lot of the racial problems are coming from the various minorities.
Well, it's coming from them, but it's also coming from the traditional left-leaning fucking white
you're
people.
Right.
They're the racists, not the right wing.
And what this guy said, which in closing basically was, because she asked, so are you mad at, minority people? And he said, absolutely not. I'm mad at white people who have done this,
right?
Who have made other white people feel guilty about being a white person,
right?
Like they've done something wrong, and you haven't done anything wrong. It's not like you're born with the original sin of killing Christ. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or eating the fruit of the.
No, that's a really good comparison, by the way.
Yeah,
it's original sin. If you're born white, you're guilty of original sin.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, you have no.
And if you're gonna run around and say, oh well, you're a lot luckier than everyone else just because of your skin color,
right?
It might even be true, but you're gonna piss a lot of people off, and they're gonna go vote for Donald Trump. You are not gonna win anything.
By the way,
with that attitude,
and not a bad choice, Donald Trump.
To be president. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad choice. He really isn't.
Well,
he had a bad day today.
Considering the option.
And apparently he's starting to fucking express publicly his fucking fear that if he does sit down with Mueller, it's just a perjury trap. Which he's right.
Why would he sit down with him?
He doesn't need to, and I hope he doesn't. I'm pretty sure.
No, but here's the thing. Mueller has fucking nothing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything.
Yeah. That's what he's saying. What Donald is saying is all this other shit has nothing to do with Russia. He's going to get me on something not
right. He's going to try to get him on obstruction.
What he needs to
justice.
do is fire him. That's what he needs to do.
Well,
just fire him.
I believe it will happen because I think the polls. I read this two and a half weeks ago.
You should do it right before the midterm elections, like in 6 weeks.
The polls are starting to run. Against Mueller. People are sick of this.
Yeah.
All right, this has been going on for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's either fucking find some evidence or go away. And take your fucking groupie fucking face and your lying cocksucker Iraq war story that got us into the war in Iraq and go fuck yourself.
Right.
That's what Bob Mueller should do. And I think there's a lot of people starting to feel that way. And as soon as the polls get to a point where Trump can fire his ass without getting in trouble, I think he will.
Do you think?
Because he should. If the guy had all right, there's 10 people here, and they're all been indicted for collusion, and they all point at you, and now you have to. It's not like Mueller doesn't have the cum-stained dress.
It just my fear is that. Never mind just people, but even registered voters I don't know if they got a fucking whole handle on the Mueller thing. Like, do people pay attention to that? Like, what percentage of voters? Are you optimistic and think it's more than 50%? Because I think a lot of people don't even pay attention to that shit.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to it on a daily basis. The only reason I know
pay
about
attention
it is
to
so
it
that,
on a twice-a-week basis. I check in on the way between
today.
New Bedford and Plymouth at 5 o'clock on Tuesday and Thursday. I check in. I don't watch the fucking news. First of all, it's fucking depressing, a lot of shit that's going on. I love the politics shit, but I'm not a politics junkie. I am an enthusiast. You know what I mean? I try to stay up on stories, but I got so much going on, Joe, right now in my personal life. It's coming at all angles right now. One thing calms down and another thing fires up. It's fucking crazy. So I get home from running around with Evan.
Yes.
Saturday, and I'm walking in, and I see my wife comes down the stairs, and I start chattering about a yard sale find I found, and then I look up, and she's going like this. She's literally shaking, and I go, "Oh, I've seen this before. This is not good." I go, "Baby, what's wrong?" And she was incoherent for a second, and I said, "Whoa, you got to compose yourself. What's wrong?" So in between racking sobs, her stepfather had let her know that an ex-boyfriend had mailed her a letter to her mother's house, because that was her last known address. This ex-boyfriend was a guy who was another older guy. He's probably 3 or 4 years younger than me, but she started dating him when she was 19 into her early 20s, and he was a bad guy, like a real bad guy. You know what I mean? Like a jail guy. He used to beat the fuck out of her. Just a fucking a criminal. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that. Oh, he's a black guy too, by the way. Half black, half white. Not that matters, but it only kind of matters because, well, if you know my wife, she likes her black guys. All right, I'm her first fucking real white significant other in her life, believe it or not. Not that this has anything to do with the rest of the story. So
what happened to her? Is she all right?
Well, let me tell the story.
All right, go ahead.
So she's losing her mind. She doesn't know what to do. It's just a letter. But they had already, Bob helped her, the stepfather helped her ascertain that it looked like the ex-boyfriend's mother's handwriting, okay? But on the return address, it said Larry Holland. By the way, Larry Holland, you're the cunt of the week, and everyone's going to see why after this story. We haven't had a cunt of the week in a while. Larry Holland, my wife's ex-boyfriend, is the cunt of the week. Wait till you hear this story, Joe. So I'm listening. I get her to calm down. I say, you know what? And I didn't want to do this because I had planned. You know, it was fucking Saturday afternoon. All right. I go, why don't we'll drive to Rochester and we'll go get the letter, and I'll open it or whatever, or I'll read it, whatever you want. Let's just go get it. You know what I mean? She's like, okay. So I drove. We went. We opened it. It was postmarked the 14th, but it was the date on the letter was the 4th. And like I said, it was the mother's handwriting from Maryland and Larry's handwriting on the inside. Quickly, I theorized that that's because he's in jail and he gave the letter to his mother to mail. Come to find out, in the letter basically said, hey, I don't want anything from you. I hope this letter finds you well. All I ask is a minute of your time. Can you text this number? It's my mother's cell phone number before you call. And that was it. So I ascertained. I'm like, he's in jail. She's like, I don't know. And she's terrified of this guy. Terrified. The last time she saw him, they were broken up, and she happened to bump into him in a 7-Eleven in Wareham, and he popped her right in public, just fucking punched her full in the face. You know what I mean?
Really?
This is the type of dude he is.
So
anyway, I end up calling I end up texting the mother. I say, "Hey, this is Kat. When can I call?" She said, "No." And I did this with Kat. I said, "Hey, Betsy, this is Al. I'm Kat's husband. She received a letter from your son. You know anything about that?" She goes, "Uh-huh." She starts answering my questions just in yes and no, like she's sitting next to someone, you know?
Right.
Turns out it wasn't her son. It's the father who doesn't support the son like she does. So I said, well, Kat's not particularly interested in speaking with Larry or ever being contacted with. So let him know that
she's married and she wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah, and just don't contact her.
Ever.
Okay. So that kind of worked for a second, and then she was continuing to freak out. And I called back and I said, I just want to be clear. Is he down there or is he up here? She goes, he's here. And I go, all right. I said, let him know that there'll be serious fucking repercussions if he ever comes near her. Okay. So come to find out, she ends up doing all the research. The guy is doing a 20-year bid in state prison in Rhode Island for raping a child, for having sex with a 12-year-old.
Nice.
All right. Comes to find out, again, so now as she's finding everything out, she's calming down over the course of the last few days. So he's in jail. He's in solitary. He wasn't supposed to write that letter. Now his mail is going to be fucking monitored. He's been told, you don't contact this person anymore, or they can get a restraining order on you. And that parole hearing you think you're getting in 2 years, you're not getting that. So this guy is not only a cunt, but he's...
Now, how old of a person is this?
Like I said, he's like a couple years younger than me, 46, 47, something like that. So he was, substantially older than her when she was 19. He was in his mid-30s. You know what I mean? Anyway, Larry, you're the cunt of the week, and the only thing, he's never going to get out of jail because he's doing it. He can get out for good behavior in 2026, but he's not getting out for behavior. He's not getting out to 2032, and he's going to die in prison before then because he's in solitary right now. He obviously can't behave himself. And he thinks he's so smart writing her a letter. And she goes, you don't know, Al. He's smart. I'm like, okay, Kat. He's stupid. He's a useless cunt. And for that reason, Larry, you are the cunt of the week. Well, and on top of family health scares.
I just keep thinking of not only punching your now wife, but raping a fucking 12-year-old.
Yeah. How does that make him smart?
Not a good...
No, he's an awful person.
This is a horrible person.
Anyway, even though she's better, she assures me she's still afraid. I'm like, this is over. People have told, he's not getting out of jail. Well, he might. He's never going to track you down. You know what I mean? So this is the power that these guys have over these women. They're physically abusive, emotionally abusive. And fucking 10 years, 12 years later, they still got a hold on these women.
Well, you can't talk about him like that because that's racist.
He's a nigger, by the way. He's not just a black
man.
That
is racist.
He's a straight-up nigger.
That is definitely racist.
He's got
you can't be saying that N-word. You're going to get us beaten up and thrown in.
No, I'm not. No one's beating me up for calling a nigger. You know what I mean? Nobody.
Well, should say N-word.
So anyway, on top of that, and I had a family health scare recently.
Yes.
I got fucking job issues. I had such a good run there, Joe, for a year or two. I was on a good run. Yeah, for like a year.
Well, now.
So now... I've had a melanoma taken off me last year, and I got 2 more just pop up. I got to go Friday to get another one dug out all the way with a melon scoop. I'm dealing with that too, which to me that's the most minor of shit. Except my fucking doctor, he had emergency knee surgery. They never even told me that it was. I had to call and go. I fucking had a biopsy a couple weeks ago. can you tell me if what they said? They said, oh, well, no news is good news. I'm like, no, go find out. So they call me back, except now it doesn't say their number. It says restricted, and I'm in a meeting at work. If it was the doctor, I would have picked it up. This is last week. Because it was restricted, I never checked the message, so I'm checking messages last night. Oh, make sure you really come September 29th for that other appointment, because that's melanoma again.
Okay.
And I'm like, so I call him at 9:00:00:0001 this morning, I'm like, can I get the fuck in on Friday? Because they only do it on Fridays.
Right.
Can I get the I literally said that. Can I get the fuck in on Friday, you think?
Get this thing
and
taken
they go,
off.
Yep, 9:45 sound good? I'm like, good. In the meantime, I got the whole hours thing going on at work, and I don't even care. Fire me if you want for going to a skin cancer fucking elimination fucking appointment. You know what I mean? So then they end up calling back again. They're like, we got to switch it. You got to be the last appointment of the day at 1. I'm like, 1? How is the last appointment not at 6? They're like, can you make it at 1? I'm like, I'll be there. You know what I mean? So I got to sign out of the office, go get my fucking skin dug into, and then drive back to work and sign back into the office. It's annoying.
Now,
my life is fucking annoying right now.
Are you
it's
getting
annoying.
shit at work?
I get shit for... I'm still suffering repercussions from the whole Evan thing, and I'm not working a minute more than my 8 to 5 that I got hired to do. Once in a while, I come in a little early. Like, I'll go in early tomorrow to make up for the hour. Like, I'm taking my lunch to go get my skin cancer dug out plus, so I got to make up an hour.
Mm-hmm.
My dad told me that's bullshit, by the way. He gave me the number for the U.S. Department of Labor wage and hours division. He goes, I understand that it's called PTO now. I understand it's all changed. He goes, but the fact that if you work 60 hours and you get paid for 40, and if you work 38 hours, you get paid for 38. He goes, that's bullshit. He goes, you're not a salaried, you're salary in name only. You know what I mean?
Right. They're paying you by the hour.
when they dock me based on
and you should
my pay divided by 8
half.
hours, not divided by 9. I'm there 9 hours. I work through lunch. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if if they deduct it, they deduct 25. They should be deducting divided by, they should be deducting 23, whatever the fuck it comes. I haven't even done the math.
They should be dividing by 9, not 8.
Not 8. You fucking cunts. You know what I mean? It's totally one way. My dad's like, he goes, do you think you're going to work there long? I'm like, no. He's like, call them tomorrow. And I still haven't. And here's why. I'm pretty sure anything that I complain about on work, somehow they're going to fucking look at what my fucking paycheck and my tax withholdings are. And I'm trying to stave that off until next May. You know what I mean?
Good idea.
Because I'm basically using my fucking tax money that I owe the government for fucking...
Now, you're looking right now for another one, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've been looking, and I've texted you about it because I thought I told you about it. I did an interview for 2 hours 2 Saturdays ago. You figure a 2-hour interview, that's a good sign.
Nothing.
He wanted to give me the commercial wing of his company, give it to me to do. I get all the bid to I choose, and I'm running it. He would help with the project managing part of it, but definitely the estimating and a lot of other responsibility. And we talked about it theoretically, and I was convinced the guy was going to offer me a job. It got to be Wednesday. I hadn't heard back from him. So Friday, I left him a message, and his whole thing is on cell phone, so he could have answered. I'm like, hey, it's Al, the guy who you met with for 2 hours the other day, Saturday. Just want to let you know you have aspirations I think I can help you with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, he still hasn't called me back. It's a weird situation. Why would he fucking interview? And he knows my boss, by the way. And I'm like, oh no, when I found that out. And he's like, no, don't worry about it.
Well, I can't believe that
fucking weird.
They're pissed about you taking care of your kid.
They're not, but they are. They're paying lip service. They pay lip service. It's not family first there. They're full of shit. It's not family first. The guy I work with every day still thinks that it's just my son being a jerk and I might need to wash my hands. I'm like, that's my kid. That's my son. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, there's people that believe...
don't fucking get it.
That's how they treat their own kids.
By the way, that's all going real well, and I'll tell you off the air where we're at right now, and it's really going very well. after
you said you brought in some big jobs.
I'm talking about Evan. I'm not talking about work.
Evan's
Fuck
good.
Fuck work. I don't even care about work.
Well, good.
I lost a big one today, by the way. That sucked. That I fucking put like easily 2 weeks of work into. This fucking guy used us as a yardstick against the guy that he usually hires. And he told him what our number was and said, can you do it? And he gave him the job. Fucking bullshit. I know that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm learning what project, because now I pick what we bid. And I'm like, I only want to bid what fucking the GC owns. I'm not looking to give budget prices to 4 different fucking guys, which I'll do once in a while. If 2 of them are people we work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to bid only shit that people own. And we're trying to build relationships. That's what it's all about. It's, relationships. Same as with your business. You got to build relationships, and you got to get first and last look at these fucking jobs. Fuck this bidding process bullshit.
I have no relationships.
You have
with
nothing but
customers.
Relationships.
Oh, with subcontractors?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It's all about your relationships with your subs. I mean, unfortunately, the only one... Dan is the oldest and still there. Dan's the king.
He is.
Even I'm gone, Joe. But having Fran's a lot like having me, only better.
I got to give Fran a call.
Yeah, do so. He's busy, by the way. I'm trying to sub him some work from my place. But he's busy. Because we have too much work. We've been selling our asses off, and we cannot find painters. We cannot find painters. And I told him that up bad. He never listened to me.
There's no...
the guys who are available who are painters, we have 2 guys who are fucking assassins, and they took a leap of faith just like I did, just like Howard did, because it's a new company. You know what I mean? Our 2 guys in the field who run the field, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're fucking assassins. And they took a bigger risk than I did, by the way, because I didn't risk anything. They risked their whole professional career. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'll fucking help you with a septic system and bounce and work at a gas station if I have to. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. But they took a big chance. And I forget what my fucking point is. God damn it. My point is...
You can't find painters.
We can't find painters. Because painters are otherwise unemployable. And there's a lot of work out there right now. And you don't have to schlep paint if you're useless. You can find some other job to be useless at. Schlepping paint's awful.
But if you want
terrible.
If you want to be a painter, you can't just... Like, say if there was a group of Guatemalans that just wanted to paint, you're not going to be a good painter right away. It takes time. It's an actual skill.
Well, it's actually unskilled labor. It takes only 6 months to be proficient at it. If it was skilled labor, it would take longer. It's 6 months. You got to do it for 6 months, and then you're either going to be a good painter or go find something else to do.
How about a landscaper? How long does that take?
It takes... Landscapers, in my opinion, are the bottom of the barrel when it comes to, construction and shit like that. If you can't do landscaping, you're fucking useless. Now, I don't want to do landscaping because I don't want my feet getting wet. I don't want mulch in my socks. You know what I mean? I don't want to work in the fucking blazing sun.
No,
you know
not
what
at
I mean? That's why it's miserable.
I guess that's why that's a job that
you got to love.
The illegals get into.
You got to be... I've done landscaping, and it's not that hard. I'm going to tell you right now.
The new illegals get into.
It takes...
Because...
It takes way less... You're right. Painting's not skilled, though. It is, however, more skilled than landscaping. You know what I mean?
I do.
And Chris, I love you. I'm not crashing on you. I'm just talking about the guys who work for the boss, you know?
Well, he doesn't listen.
I hope not, because if he did, he'd be mad right now.
No, he wouldn't. He'd be laughing.
But painting, I would say landscapers are a little below painters. Painters are pretty much the bottom of the barrel. I think even the guys who hang the drywall and do the plastering, I think they're a step above painters. Because you know what I mean?
That's one job I've never done in any, other than 2 or 3
I've done
sheets.
a little, same here, a little
Hanging
bit.
drywall is
It sucks.
it's horrible.
You got to
But
talk. I got to pee.
You have to be very good at it. I mean,
No, there's no fucking
to make
doubt.
any money, there are all kinds of little tricks.
You can't be having a lot of waste. You got to make the least amount of waste, you know?
Well, there's that, but there's also, you just can't. Somehow they're extremely fast, and they're.
And then you got guys drawing plans for houses in their cabanas.
Well,
and they're looking at it going, oh, Jesus Christ. You know?
my plans are awesome.
You never build with the drywallers in mind. I'll put it that way. The blue borders, because you do blue board, but you know what I'm saying. Same thing. Drywall and blue board is the same thing.
Well, now I don't understand the statement. How would you draw with the drywallers in mind? You don't.
I don't know, Joe. I'm just trying to fucking make conversation.
Are you fucking with me?
I'm just fucking with you, man. You think like a framer. That's all.
Well, the frame, you've got to have inside corners and shit like that.
Yeah.
Hey, now Russia's got a robot that looks like one of those Star Wars things here.
Like a stormtrooper?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
That looks like fucking. They had one that looked like that in RoboCop too. Remember?
Yeah. So,
That's the future. I know that you think that they're taking over. By the way,
who? Russia?
no, fucking robots.
Oh yeah.
You're pretty convinced of that.
Hey,
How could it be any other way?
Elon Musk says there's a 5% chance that it won't happen,
Right.
and he's
I think that Stephen Hawking said something similar. By the way,
he was a celebrity physicist. I shouldn't say that. He was actually quite bright. But
I mean, apparently he did some brilliant work with black holes.
I think he did like you said, he was a fucking ladies man.
He was a
Out of that
player, man.
Wheelchair.
He's a player.
Cheating on his wife and shit.
I mean,
I don't know how the hell that works, but
smelling directly
I don't
of
want
piss
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
oh,
There's just no way he smelled anywhere near good. Although, who knows, man? He sold a lot of books. Maybe he could afford some fancy French cologne. I don't know.
I had this calculus teacher. I'll never forget him. Professor Hirschenritter.
Okay.
He's got to be long dead. And he was a German, and he used to say to all the ladies, Wie heißen Sie, Fräulein?
Okay.
Which is, I don't know,
Hi.
good day.
Oh, yeah. Young
good day,
lady.
young lady, or something like that. And he was constantly had this fucking wet spot
Oy.
on his pants, and he constantly smelled like piss.
Oh, my God.
And he was a fucking great teacher,
But he pissed his
but he-
pants every day.
constantly.
I had a pretty decent
he
English
knew it.
professor who drooled. He was really old.
Well, Hirschenritter wasn't that old. He had an issue, and I don't think he.
Clearly, it's,
maybe this
it's
was
called,
before.
It's called incontinence. That's his issue.
Well, but I think this was
Jesus
maybe this was
Christ.
before the adult diaper. You know, because why would you just piss your pants all day?
You got to think there was Depends in 1981. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 81, 82, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
83. I gotta believe that there were.
Oh, that poor guy.
And
it
I mean,
was
I used
shorts.
to go.
You said?
What? No,
Was it-
no, pants.
Oh, pants. I thought for some reason you said shorts. I'm sorry.
But like, you know how there's like,
oh,
I used to
poor
go.
guy.
I used to go every once in a while, as long as I could stand it, to office hours. You know,
Yeah.
and pick his brain. And
Now What was the specific course again?
It was calculus. It was the second
The
semester of calculus.
Okay, cool.
It's the second out of three. And
Do you remember what you got in that course for a grade?
I did quite well. I don't know.
Yeah, you went way.
It was
farther
like an
than me in
AB
math.
or something like that.
Yeah, you did way better than me in that math. I got to calculus and I was done.
But then the third year of calculus, which gets into a lot of three-dimensional shit, was taught by it was an older woman. She was very bright, but she was an awful teacher.
Oh, that's too bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could tell
I had
she
people
was
like that.
fucking wacky bright, but
Bright and probably a nice person, just a bad
and
teacher.
could not convey anything.
Yeah, I've had.
Everybody was fucking lost, and
Yeah.
you really needed a good teacher.
Did she write the book?
No,
Well, see, a lot of times in that situation, that's who wrote the book that you're using. You know what I mean? And they're not always the best teachers, even though they wrote the book.
no. And you know what's funny? You talk about when you went there and this social justice shit had started.
Yeah.
When I was there, there was no. It was like a couple generations ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like back
By
in the
definition.
50s,
Yeah.
when like it was okay to beat your wife. You know what I mean?
It wasn't
it was
okay
almost,
to beat your wife.
Well,
It
it's
was
never been
just,
okay to beat. But I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
Maybe it was expected that by the wife that you were going to get a slap.
Yeah,
now and
right,
then,
right.
Which is horrible.
It sucks. It's awful.
But there was there were no signs up. The only thing it was I remember it was the year of civility.
Yeah.
Because they were putting an end to the crazy party. The partying was ending, you know, and they banned kegs in the. Although it never made any sense. You could have 500 cases of beer, you just couldn't have a keg. So
Yeah, that was weird.
But I mean, there was none of that social justice warrior shit.
I got
However,
written up for a keg, by the way, at UMass. I got written up in Orchard Hill for a keg.
Chris Jarvis almost got thrown out of the dorm for having a beer ball.
Oh, we had those too. Those were fun.
Yeah.
We used to make those go away in about 45 minutes.
Well,
Matt's, remember Matt's and Bud Light had them. By the way, I'm enjoying the Bud Light.
good.
I mean,
it up.
it's pretty good.
Strong, too.
It's a little, it's weird. It's light beer, but compared to that other shit, it's almost syrupy.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I know.
weird.
Oh,
but
that stuff I drink is piss. But,
literally,
yeah.
I like that stuff too. But I'm just saying, this is a nice change. The problem is I probably shouldn't fire down 8 of them because
No,
I'll be way drunker than if I fire down 8 of those other
I
ones.
had 3 of those yesterday.
And you get a little buzz?
I did.
Like the good beer buzz? My thing was always the buzz that you get from downing one of the... Remember I used to drink those Foster's oil cans, the green ones?
Yep.
If you get a fucking frosty one of those and fucking jettison it quickly into your gullet...
You'll be fucked up.
No, that was the buzz that I've always looked for. That's the perfect... It's a 2-beer buzz. You know what I mean? Just a 2-beer, cold beer buzz. You drank it in about a minute and a half or
Well,
whatever.
that's kind of what happens after I have 5 of the...
And I've been-
5 of the ones that are pissed.
But I've been chasing that, but like you can't maintain it because you're either going to get more drunker, or if you might get a headache if you're not as drunk. It's
well, you
just
can
weird.
maintain it with the piss.
I agree.
Which by the way, folks, piss is
Budweiser Select 55.
Bud Select 55.
But
That's
you've
my
also,
beer.
But the other key is temper it with a couple where you used to temper.
Oh, speaking
your
of
beer,
temper it,
yeah,
let me have one of those.
temper it with a Fireball or two. Or
Well,
a
that's
vodka.
only if you want to get a little, a little rush.
Yeah.
I have Al bring me 2 Fireballs every time. Hey, grab me a Diet Coke, and I'm not even drinking beer.
That's just the deal. Tonight I slacked on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what a
I had a
fucking
lot
low.
on my mind. I mean,
What a low life.
I had a lot on my mind, man.
Well, you've had a lot of fucking shit going on.
I mean, what the fuck? Oh, so my son has decided that he wants to find another place to work. So I said, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." So he and I sat down last night. We made him a new resume on Indeed. Indeed.com, by the way, is a miracle. Indeed pulls from every other fucking job posting site. If it's posted somewhere on the internet, I'm talking the World Wide Web, it's on Indeed, all right? Plus stuff that just gets posted on Indeed. That's if you're looking for a job, go to fucking Indeed. Do yourself a favor. It's free, and it's an app on your phone. It's wonderful.
Do you think it works?
It's how I got my job, and it's how he... Let me tell you this story.
All right.
So we do his resume.
Do I have a choice?
First of all, when you pull up Machinists...
Yes. How many jobs are there?
242 jobs in eastern Massachusetts.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, Machinists are in demand. So we put up his resume.
That's fucking a lot.
Evan is not 18 yet. He will be in a month. We put him up as 4 years machining experience. And here's his work experience, which ain't 4 years, but we're counting his fucking time in shop because that's what we did.
God damn it.
So he's been where he is now for a year and a half. He was in another place for 3 or 4 months before that. And then we put up, he was a receiver shipper at Colonial Saw in Kingston.
Oh, yeah.
Where my father-in-law used to work.
Yes.
So those people are still very friendly with Anya and the kids and me. They're wonderful people. So that was his first job. He was the shipper for school vacations for a year. So we put up his resume. We applied for 6 jobs. By noon today, he got 4 phone calls.
No shit.
He's going to be able to pick where he works.
You
And he asked for a review at work because they're only paying. They're paying him. They're paying him about 2. They're paying him not quite 3/4 what he's worth. They're treating him like a kid. He is a kid, but
at the place he is now.
Yeah, and they're good guys over there. But hey, you're not going to pay a kid what he's worth. Guess what? Evan is marketable, and he's got a review there, and he's got 4 places that are looking for him. 2 of them in Plymouth, one's in Hanover. I think the other one's West Bridgewater.
I bet there's a lot of work out because he was doing some mundane shit because he was telling me about it.
Yeah, but he does a lot of mundane shit at once. So he can run 4 machines.
No, I understand that.
You know what I mean?
But
at once.
he would be interested. I believe that there are shops that, like, you know, they got to in with fucking some professor at MIT.
Well, I got to tell you,
they make one-off shit.
Well,
like,
let me
I need
tell
a
you this.
fucking pressure vessel
Yeah.
made out of titanium.
Well, here
it'll hold 50,000 psi.
Well, listen to this.
At 7,000 degrees.
Right. The Indeed.com, the smaller jobs, you can just apply right through there. Some of them, they bring you to a third-party site where you...
With a window.
And then some of them, you go to the company site. Well, and I got about an hour and a half to go on this application for him.
And what are you going to do with that, Professor?
No, listen.
I'm going to stick my wife in it.
Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, which is a world-renowned organization, needs in their physical plant, their facilities division, they need a machinist.
Really?
Yeah, so
For like
I'm going to fucking apply to that for them, too.
ships?
But,
I wonder if they...
no, it's everything.
What the fuck would they... well, I guess...
They machine
anything.
parts for stuff.
I guess if there's shit that needs...
If there's a
There are
weird
machines
screw,
that
if
will-
there's a weird screw that the maintenance facility needs that you can't get at Ace,
Right. What are you going to
they
do?
machine it right there.
You can
they
make
have
it.
a lathe and a milling machine and a CNC machine and everything.
And this is probably working on a lot of their, diagnostic equipment.
So that's not one of the
sensing
ones that called
equipment.
him back because, like I said, that wasn't a matter of just uploading his resume and clicking send. That one, there's a huge because he would have to get security clearance to work there, he would be driving vehicles as well there, hoists and a pickup truck and all. He'd be doing all kinds of shit. Can you imagine if I could get him in there, or if he could get in there? That would be amazing.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, but it's a good job, Joe. He'd
I
make
think there's
50.
a lot of...
It's a $50,000 job, and he's qualified for it.
I think there's a lot of stuff out there where,
Well, that was my point.
you got startup companies and they're making a one-off doodad and they need someone to make it.
But there's an incredible amount of traditional machine and tool shops out there, like where he works. There's so many of them, and they're all looking for people like him, someone out of trade school who knows how to do it, and they're a kid, so they don't have to pay him top dollar yet. They will have to, as is what's going on with him. He knows that he's worth more money.
Right.
Already, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he's a little delusional as to how much. I think right now he's a $50,000 a year guy. He thinks he's a $65,000. I don't think he is. He's like a 50, and he's making like 39 right now. You know what I mean?
He's like you said, he's not even 18 yet.
That's the other thing. My dad, because we talked a little bit about him too, and my dad was like, just wait till he's 18 to renegotiate. He goes, they'll stop treating him like a baby. I'm like, he can't wait. I can't hold him off another month because he wants to not work there. I don't need him to quit without having another job. I need him to be... Now, if
the guy would come up,
he needs to be employed.
Or does he just want...
Say that again?
If the guy came up to $50,000, would he stay where he's working? Or does he just
in
want
a heartbeat? In a heartbeat.
So was he told the guy's intention?
He's going to in his review. And the other thing is they've been giving him shit about bathroom breaks. He's like, Dad, they pulled me in for an hour about how long I was in the bathroom. He goes, I get that my machine is running, but I don't go in. He goes, they think I'm on the phone. He goes, I'm taking a shit, all right? Evan only shits every other day or every third day. And when it's time to shit, there's a lot of fucking matter coming out of him for a long time. That's just his fucking... metabolism. That's what he does. They're giving him shit about taking a shit.
That's not good.
You know what I mean? So that's another reason. He's like,
well, then he's not in the bathroom much.
No, but when he is, he's in there for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And there's, they're like, can't you just go when everyone else goes on break? He's like, no, I got to go when I got to go. All right? You know what I mean? And he's right.
Yeah, you would think that would...
But that's the type.
I don't know.
They're good guys, but that's the type of place it is. You know what I mean? He's like, that's pretty petty, right, Dad? I'm like, yeah, that's fucking. I wouldn't deal with that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, how about you blow me and you blow me and you blow me? You know what I mean?
Well, because when you get older and
so it's enough that he's fucking looking for another job, and the fact that he's.
You end up
underpaid
with a prostate the size of a basketball. You end up peeing a lot more.
I couldn't. I mean, I can't. Believe me.
I've
always been a big pisser. Not just now that I'm old and my prostate's huge and my bladder is small. I can't imagine doing a job like they do, where your machine is running and you got to go to the bathroom. I pee a lot.
Well, the machine's. Once it's set up and running, he's on automatic.
No, I know. But like I said, he's got 4 things on automatic at once. You know what I mean?
Right. And if something were to fucking...
He's trying to bang shit out. So you got to, even though at any given moment you might literally be doing this, you're going like this. You know what I mean? You might not be doing anything with your hands for a while, but you do got to watch,
This guy who shares my last name, John Brennan, is just insane about Trump.
He has Trump derangement syndrome.
To the point where his buddy Clapper is now saying things that, he took his security clearance away, which... Brennan was saying that, well, he's just trying to shut me up. And I'm like, well, why would that shut you up? I mean, you're obviously not going on any news program revealing government secrets. You know what I mean? Or classified information. Trump's basically just saying, fuck you. You don't work for the government anymore and you don't have your clearance. Because you're a prick. But he's like... I stand very much by accusing President Trump of treason. He's bringing this country down. And I just, where's the treason? Like pretend, play devil's advocate, Al.
Go ahead.
Just put yourself in somebody's shoes that hates fucking Trump.
Go ahead. I haven't done this yet, but I bet
What has
I'll
he
be good at it.
done? That's
Don't you know that he's a-
treasonous.
Well, first of all,
Colluding with the Russians?
not only is he a traitor, but first and foremost, he's a racist. Okay.
Absolutely, he's a racist.
All right. So you accept that he's a racist. He's also a fucking sexist. Okay.
Definitely a sexist,
All right.
not a racist. Though.
Now, his son Don admittedly met with people from Russia before the election,
Yes.
and Donald admitted that. So that's collusion. That's collusion.
No.
That's why because by definition, that's collusion.
No, it's not.
Well, it is, Joe.
No, it's not.
Don't you know that's collusion? And don't you know that Robert Mueller is looking into it and he's going to find that it's collusion?
Here's the deal.
And I know it's
And
been
I know
2
you're playing
years.
Devil's advocate.
Well, you told me to play devil's advocate. I'm
I
doing
know.
a good job, aren't I?
Yes.
Want me to stop playing devil's advocate?
No, I want you. It's not collusion because Don Jr. met with somebody from Russia
Yeah.
who said that they had dirt on Hillary.
Yeah, and don't you know that also
Which
that
do you
Donald
think Hillary Clinton would meet with a Russian if they had dirt on Trump? She would never do that, would she?
she would fall over herself.
Not my little Hillary.
She would step on her mother's fucking
lion.
fragile fucking geriatric skull to get to that fucking meeting.
She'd stick a fucking cake fucking mixer up her daughter's twat.
If drowning Chelsea's daughter, her granddaughter, was a
Right.
fucking option for her attendance there,
Drowning her in the toilet while taking a shit on her at the same time.
that kid is being flushed. That's
Fucking
just
dead.
that.
Dead with shit all over.
So yeah, no, there's no doubt about Hillary.
So,
Yeah.
and then it turned out they were, talking about adoption, and
Yeah.
that's what happened at the meeting.
Don't you know that
But I'm trying to think of where is the fucking treason?
yeah. Well,
Unless
don't-
we're missing something.
he doesn't talk badly about Vladimir Putin enough.
Yeah, God.
Don't you know that
we don't
that's-
want to get along with the Russians.
Yeah, right. Who yeah, it doesn't
we should have a
behoove us.
war with them.
Right, it doesn't behoove us to get along with the Russians who
Fucking morons.
are meaningless, especially when you're
they only
comparing
have
them
the
to
other
China.
half of the nuclear fucking stockpile.
It's still meaningless. China's got some nukes too.
Yeah, nothing like Russia.
No, you're right. You are right about that, no doubt.
The United States and Russia have like 98% of the fucking nukes.
And you're making my point. Shouldn't we just be getting along with them?
Just get along.
And you know what? Russians and Americans aren't that different. They really aren't.
Well, and it doesn't really matter. Just as long as
Especially
you
since
get along.
they're both places.
Get along.
Yeah, and they're both places
Keep
with
a dialogue open.
yeah, and they both got white majorities.
And you know what? Those European cocksuckers haven't been paying their fair share. So it's about time that they do.
Yeah.
You wanna have a NATO? Well, fucking pay up. We're a debtor nation. Bunch of cunts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that one, Joe.
Oh, this guy I was listening to, who, by the way, now I'm fucking curious. I gotta find this guy's name. He was talking about, the need to curb immigration so that we can't just have on his theme, keeping his theme that we don't want to lose a white majority because the white majority of the United States founded the United States. Unfortunately, there were no Mexicans or Guatemalans or African Americans who chimed in on the Constitution, even though the original Constitution before the Bill of Rights or before whatever amendment that was had a black person as 3/5 of a human. Now, that wasn't good, but...
Well, that's if you were, counting up for votes for fucking, seats in fucking Congress and shit,
I just don't know what I was... I don't know what I was listening to. You know what? shit.
Just the word shit is making me need to shit.
Proud
White guy.
white people.
I mean, just the fact that you're putting that into your computer makes you a racist.
I believe it does. Well, you don't want to be proud. You just want to be.
You don't want to be putting that into your browser at work or the IT department.
No.
Although I've surfed for some fairly wacky shit on the clock.
It's not
You know
proud.
what I mean?
It was.
By the way, did I tell you that the computer system where I work is amazing?
Really?
It's just everything's fast. I got fucking 12 applications open at any time, 2 screens. Once in a while, there's a glitch with the fucking on-screen takeoff and quick bids, the estimating software. But there's never a problem. Fucking, I use Chrome and Internet Explorer on a daily basis. I know that sounds weird, but one's on one screen and one's on the other. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah.
I prefer Chrome.
I use Chrome. All right. There's a guy
Because
named
Google rules and Bing sucks. How's that?
There's a guy named Richard Spencer.
Richard.
Now that's the guy said he's kind of got like the.
He sounds like a racist, is what he sounds like.
I believe he is a racist.
He's a racist. Just because his name is Richard Spencer, he's a racist.
But this is the guy I talked about who was the first guy I listened to who was talking to W. Kamau Bell.
Who is also a racist, by the way.
Yeah, well,
You're a racist.
He fucking hates white people. There's no question
He's
about it.
brilliant and funny and thoughtful, but you're a racist. You racist cunt.
Well,
Come on.
actually, no. He's
by the way, you're a fat racist cunt as
he
well.
believes any
And I'm
any
qualified
white
to call
person
you
that
that.
says, I don't really owe anybody any fucking favors. He believes they're racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had a talk with this Richard Spencer.
I agree with you, Kamau, that black people have a gripe, okay? I do agree with you.
And
But
Kamau,
you're a cunt. A racist cunt.
this is where I went down the rabbit hole.
I mean,
Why? And this guy is, he's masking some. Oh, Jared Taylor is the guy I listened to.
that sounds like a racist, a white supremacist type racist.
And he could be.
He's definitely a white guy.
Well, he's white, but he's happy about
I wonder if
being
there's
white.
black dudes named Jared Taylor. I'll tell you what, there's no white guys named W. Kamau Bell. Why is that? Even Richard Spencer, that's a white guy name, but I'm sure there's tons of black guys named Richard Spencer. Dick Spencer, son. You know what I mean?
Jared Taylor.
Who's he now? He's the interview guy? That I'm a proud white guy?
See,
I mean, what are we talking about?
they have him in Wikipedia as an American white supremacist.
Okay, well, there it is.
However, the woman that was interviewing said, "Well, you're a white supremacist," and he says, "No, I'm not a white
That's
supremacist."
Jared Taylor, okay.
However, Wikipedia has him listed as a white supremacist.
Now, who's Richard Spencer? Because I thought that was Richard Spencer.
No, Richard Spencer is the guy who W. Kamau Bell
Oh, right.
interviewed.
Okay, now I got
And
it.
he was of the same thinking, but
As Jared Taylor.
but he wasn't. He was a little over the edge.
Is Jared Taylor way younger than Richard Spencer?
No, he's older.
There's not a lot of Jareds that are that old. Is he,
1951.
Wow, Jared Taylor is fucking 60-something years old. Holy shit.
He was born in Japan, and he's got a BA from Yale University.
Is he born in Japan because is he a white guy who was born in Japan? Like his dad
And he
was
went
in the
to
service type of
He's
thing?
got his master's from the Paris Institute of Political Studies. Doesn't sound like a white supremacist.
No, he sounds like, well, listen, Joe, just because you have degrees doesn't mean you're fucking not racist.
I understand. He is a founder and editor of American Renaissance.
I can think of a few degreed people who are registered Democrats who are racists. First and foremost, Elizabeth Warren is a racist. She's a racist. Fucking Dianne Feinstein, you're a racist too, honey.
Well, no,
I know you're not
they're
supposed to-
self-haters.
Nancy Pelosi, you're a racist. Hillary Clinton, you're a racist. You're
They're
all racist.
Hypocrite self.
Fucking racist motherfuckers.
Taylor is a proponent of scientific racism.
By the way, I hesitate to call Barack Obama a racist. By the way, I'm not ready to lump him in with racists.
I don't think Barack Obama is a racist.
I don't either, honestly. But
He was
Hillary
raised
Clinton,
by white people.
Hillary Clinton is a racist. Racist.
Well, you know she hates Barack Obama.
Well, she hates all black people. She
And
dislikes black people.
Her husband said to Ted Kennedy when Whoreface was running against Obama
Whoreface.
that, hey, Ted, 2 years ago, he would have been getting our coffee.
That's a pretty. Oh,
That's
shit.
what Bubba said.
Nice. Old Bubba. Again, it just depends on what your definition of is.
American
You know what I'm saying?
Renaissance magazine. And there's white supremacists everywhere here.
I mean, are they hood wearing fucking
I haven't seen any
swastika
hoods.
fucking what's that salute? That fucking Nazi salute,
Look.
fucking Heil Hitler going on?
Anybody that comes out and
Goose
says
stepping motherfuckers.
they like being white and they don't want the country to lose a white majority is going to be called a white supremacist, aren't they?
Oh, well, it's because they are. Am I still playing devil's advocate? I'm sorry. I might have got lost there.
Well, I don't know. Are you? No, seriously, are you?
All right, go ahead. Say
Are
that
you a
again.
white supremacist if you say, I like being white and I would like the country to remain a majority white country because that's who founded the country?
It's borderline. It might be more racist than white supremacist. Nah, maybe it's more white. Yeah,
Well, why? Why is it racist to
it's
say?
white supremacist.
Because what he's saying is white.
I don't think they're
white
necessarily
people
interchangeable
founded
either.
the country.
Which one is the fucking Roman numeral 1 and which one is the A? What falls under what? Is white supremacist? Are all white supremacists racists, or are all racist white supremacists? Yeah,
I don't know.
no. All white supremacists are racist.
Well, that's
Not all racist.
racist.
Not all racists are white supremacists because Al Sharpton is a fucking racist. Jesse Jackson is a racist. W. Kamau Bell is a racist, and they're not white supremacists. Clearly, they are racist though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all your white supremacists are racist. Hitler was a racist. All right, he's a white supremacist. I'm pretty sure that guy's a racist and a white supremacist. By the way, I've worked it out.
All right. I got to read a little bit of this. And believe me, I'm not a joiner,
Yeah.
but
No, you're not. Listen. Again, for me, my whole thing is
you can't talk
how do
about
you
it.
get even fucking worked up about that? That to me, I don't think
Let me-
about, I literally don't think about race
Let me-
ever other than when we talk about it on this fucking podcast.
Let me play devil's advocate.
I don't even
here for a
consider
second.
anyone's race. I have fucking nieces and nephews and children who don't even see race.
Let's see in 30 years, right?
Yeah. When
Say-
everybody's the same color?
Say the majority.
I think that's going to be more like
Was
200.
black.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
How do you think the country would do?
It's not going to happen, so I can't even answer that. It's not going to happen. It's impossible.
And black people were running most of it. How do you think it would do?
That's an unfair question.
I'll tell you how it would do.
All right, go ahead.
Go to shit.
I mean, if you want to go out on a limb
Faster.
like that, I can't even get to
It
that.
just would.
I mean, I can't even get there because it's not going to
I
happen.
don't know. Maybe you're right. It's going to take hundreds of years.
Well, I think the hundreds of years thing is there's not. It's everyone's the same color. But I'm thinking
Well,
1,000,
that-
more
you know,
like
there's
1,000 or 2,000 years. Some people are like 100 years, and I'm like, no, that ain't happening in 100 years.
One of the things that this guy said,
Just
that
based on the math.
there was a lot of truth to it, is there isn't that. Of course, there are going to be. I have a sister who was in an interracial marriage with a nice guy, and they got divorced, and shit happens. I'm divorced.
Oh, by the way, me too.
Right. So,
From a white chick.
but I don't think there's as much
By the way,
not as
Anya, how
much
are you? I
interracial shit going
know you
on as you
listen.
think.
yeah.
You know, probably more like white and Hispanic going on.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying.
White Hispanic
Yeah.
kind of
That's going to be
lot of white guys, Hispanic,
and they're not going to
girls.
absorb the African type heritage, but there's going to be very little distinct difference between Hispanic and white and
Right.
Northern European, and you know what I mean. It's all going to be caramel colored, and they're even talking about because Arabs are working into that, and so basically you're going to have caramel colored people, yellow people, and black people. The white thing is going to be absorbed.
I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. I don't have
Because-
the answers. I'm going to read a little bit this American Renaissance and see if it's really white supremacist. And that's the deal. It's a shame if it's look. If you're a white person and you're proud of being white, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Is there?
No, there isn't, and I'm not playing devil's advocate anymore.
The fact that I asked the question
That
means
makes you
that
a
I have-
racist pig.
No, that I have that guilt,
You definitely have a little guilt going on,
you know?
and it's not just about
And
the racial thing.
I pay enough to what's going on.
You're feeling
so
pretty
that
bad about
you-
that rabbit you fingered when you were 11.
That was a white rabbit.
Yeah, and the chicken that you fucked.
Well,
I know you're feeling
He was
guilty.
black,
Right,
but he was my favorite.
chicken fucker.
I was a chicken fucker.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject.
Fucked her
man.
right in the egg hole.
So I got to tell you right now,
Are we done?
the show is lasting less than an hour and 43 minutes because I'm done.
Well, we're done, folks.
I thought we had a good time tonight, as always, Joe.
We always have a good time.
Kind of right at yahoo.com, kind of right
Al's
at
got a lot going on.
yahoo.com. I got a lot going on. I'm tired, and I'm going to edit this show properly right now also. That's why I want to give myself a little time. Maybe I'll be home by
Good.
9:30.
I'm going to go up and eat.
Did you notice I got a new speaker set up? These are fat.
I did.
I got to throw the other one out because it's junk. That's a lot of the mess down there.
That's all
But
right.
the new one is dope. All right, everybody.
Hey, everybody have a good night. Don't be racist. And
I would say don't
go
be racist.
see the
but
American Renaissance
if you're white, you can't help.
magazine for yourself.
If you're white, you can't help but be racist. Or if you're a white man, you are racist and you are sexist.
Well, that's certainly what we're taught.
Yeah. So
And I don't mean to be talking about race, but it's an interesting subject that needs to be talked about. And it's not a one-sided.
I gotta think about that. Does it need to be talked about?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, by me and you.
That doesn't necessarily need to be talked about by the two of us.
Oh, all right.
But
You
we
just
certainly
mean-
have a right to an opinion on.
It certainly is the fucking elephant or gorilla in the room.
I've seen too much shit
America.
where I cringe. I cringe when I see a white supremacist guy.
I do too.
I cringe.
Yeah.
I'm cringing listening to black people now.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With this, white lash shit and white privilege.
I think-
and I'm like,
then I
"Ah,
think
man,
you're-
it's just the wrong way.
I think
If
you're.
you were
yeah.
trying to get ahead
Yeah.
and you were trying to gain ground politically,
Mm-hmm.
that is not the way to do it.
I
To
think.
take the majority population and tell them they're all privileged.
Yeah, I think you and I are in a similar place, but I might term it more as, I get into the whole non-issue thing. It's obviously an issue. It's a huge
Oh,
issue.
I certainly
but
don't.
with me personally,
I don't fucking care.
the race thing, I'm just like, can we get over the race thing, all of you?
No.
Every one of
No,
you?
it'll never
Why,
happen.
Why? Why can't we just get over it? I don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm
if you're in the minority population,
yeah,
you always have it worse than the majority.
no doubt.
Now, put that on top of that you were slaves
Yeah.
at one time. And,
So are the Jews, by the way.
yeah, but the the Jews are white people.
But they were slaves to black people. Egyptians are black people. They're black Africans. They're not Arab Africans. They're black.
Well, now, this is 4,000 years ago.
Fucking black people
Not
owned white
400
people. It was
years
black
ago.
people owning white people. It was black people owning white people. And then for a while, white people owned black people. All
Hey.
right?
I'm leaving.
They're all the same. People are the same.
Don't be a racist, no matter what color you are.
Listen.
But have an open mind on some shit, man. That's what we're saying here at Kinda Right. Have an open mind.
About everything, man. About everything. Joe, have a nice night, buddy.
You too,
I'll see you
Bobalicious.
Thursday. Bye.
Later.